My name is Nancy Gutierrez.
I'm Zari Holbrook.
My name is Natasha Vanderven.
My name is Louise.
My name is Christy Ricketts.
My name is Dawn Deanda.
I'm Katie Gale, and I completed my middle school as well as my high school through New Jerusalem Elementary School District.
My name is Ebony, and I have a 5th grader.
I have a junior here at Delta Charter High School. And the reason why I chose this school district primarily is because my daughter is autistic and they provide the support that my child needs. I really enjoy the fact that they help her to thrive.
I homeschooled my 2 younger children for 10 years, and when it was time to send them to high school, I felt that this small school atmosphere would be beneficial for them and they wouldn't get lost like they might in a bigger school.
My son is a senior here at the school. I've chosen the school district because of what the school has done for my son, offering him a sense of community, offering him a sense of activity that was inclusive because he is autistic.
My family and I, we belong to a youth football team, and I was going over some concerns I had with my son's reading, and our secretary at Delta, she was expressing that they had a good resource program. So something that I might want to look into to see if that could help him with his reading. So we came through, we did an interview, and it seemed like a good fit for him from where he was before.
I chose New Jerusalem because I liked that it is a smaller school and that the teachers would be able to recognize my students and not fall into a mass of other kids.
It was a really positive experience for me, and I really feel like at this school, out of all the other schools I've been to, I was viewed as an individual, and they really looked at how I could be my most successful, not just how I could check the boxes. So when it comes to a personalized education and being recognized as an individual, I knew that if I brought my students here, they would be given the opportunities to really excel at their full potential.
I chose Delta Charter High School for my son because he was struggling at a comprehensive high school with migraines. And I found that Delta Charter had more flexibility, and they seemed to be more willing to work with him and his disability. And he just found a sense of community when he came to Delta Charter and was able to thrive in that environment rather than at his traditional high school.
2 of my children suffered from anxiety going to school. My oldest one, he was attending our local school district during COVID, and that proved to be a really hard time for him. So it was important for us to take him out of his school to get him into a program that was working better for him so he could still be active during the pandemic.
The way that the district has supported my child's growth and development is because she has an IEP and a triennial. So we're able to see and monitor where she needs support and where she's doing really well, and we can adjust that to her level. I feel as if the district really has the professionals that she needs in order to be successful and in order for her to continuously grow, and they're able to modify her curriculum to best suit her needs.
So my son Nico went to Delta Charter Online because they did not want to come to a regular high school, and the staff was very accommodating to him, and they allowed him to work at his own pace. He proceeded very quickly through his studies. He was teaching himself calculus. So that was wonderful. And for my son Kai, who kind of needed a regular school atmosphere on site, the staff was extremely accommodating of his special needs, especially his speech therapy.
Nicholas was offered all of the things that the school is supposed to offer him, but they also offered Nicholas an opportunity to be part of different activities that he would not have otherwise in a larger school. Nicholas could run cross country, be part of track, be part of basketball. He actually had a full and rigorous schedule of activities because the school's center is inclusion. That's why I love this school so much.
The district has supported my child's growth. I would definitely say within our resource program, his resource teacher has been amazing. She has followed his plan that he has. She's checked upon just making sure that he's pulled out the way that he should as far as his minutes, just meeting all his concerns, his accommodations, and just putting forth that effort into watching him grow.
My child has a 504. She has a medical condition, and the school has been very helpful in meeting her needs.
One of my favorite things about this district is it's really focused not just on academics, but also the overall child. So their social and emotional health. So anytime we have a meeting for my student, we always get input on how they're doing socially and emotionally, not just academically. And I really feel like the staff here want to give your child that full experience and make sure that they're doing well in all of those areas, not just one.
I found the district to be very supportive. They provided a small community for him to thrive in. He wasn't just a number to them in a classroom, which is what I found in our previous district, and he was slipping through the cracks there. And I had a really eye-opening conversation with him when we were trying to figure out why his migraines were really preventing him from going to school. And he told me that he didn't really feel like any of his teachers were connecting with him or cared if he was coming to school. And the experience at Delta Charter was very much different. If he fell behind in his online classes or if he missed a couple of days of in-person classes, the teachers were reaching out to me either through text or phone call or email, and that made all the difference in the world. And that made me be able to, as a parent, keep up on his studies, and it made him realize that people cared and people were watching and people were there to make sure he succeeded.
The district has been very helpful with meeting the needs of all three of my children. From my youngest, with providing different enrichment activities at Delta Home for him to attend that help him feel safe and secure. And then for my high school student, teachers helped him with his first job interviews, graduating out of high school. So he was able to come in his outfit that he was going to wear, and 3 different teachers took the time to actually go over interview questions with him, and he actually landed that job full-time right out of high school.
So the district went above and beyond when my child had a personal issue happen on campus. Everybody that needed to be there and present in order to support my child was amazing. My experience with this district, with all the staff, was extremely positive. They supported my child in her time of need. They were able to be flexible with her school schedule because she did have a traumatic event where she needed that. So they were able to give her independent studies, without being truant. The district just provided that help, that support that I know she would not have received at another school.
So my son Kai had trouble adjusting at first to the school, but the speech and debate team captain, a teacher, Katie Gale, was so wonderful with him. She encouraged him to keep up with the speech and debate, and she even took him to a tournament at Long Beach. And guess what? He ended up going to school at Long Beach for his bachelor's degree. So Katie Gale was instrumental in his success.
Nicholas had the opportunity to join cross-country vice principals. I asked him, could Nicholas join the cross-country team? It's late in the season. And he said, let's find out. And I was shocked and surprised that we could just ask a coach. And Coach Schlebaugh said, sure. And Nick became part of it. And Coach Schlebaugh walked with Nicholas. He did not run his first cross-country his season. Nicholas learned to run his second season. That is dedication, and that's why I love this school.
This year, my son, he actually, the resource teacher, she works only with certain grade levels, so he has aged out per se of her particular grade level, but she still makes time for him, pulls him aside, and still make sure he gets the services that he needs. So she still works with him even though she doesn't have to. So, and I greatly appreciate that.
So I recently had a meeting with our Delta home principal for one of my sons, and we were talking about different ways to motivate him. And she immediately perked up about his interests. So the principal not only knew what my son was interested in, but she had ideas for how to incorporate that into an incentive chart. And literally the next day, she came with a fully printed color chart with Sonic and his Chaos Emeralds and rings. And she did all that in her spare time because when she went home, she was still thinking about my little guy.
Well, I think that the design of the program where he had an educational coordinator that was in charge of his learning and that met with us every 6 weeks to let us know his progress and encouraged him to get involved in activities. Even though he had migraines, really pushed him out of his comfort zone. They encouraged him to get involved in speech and debate, and they encouraged him to go to sporting events. They encouraged him to meet other students. And like I said, we really saw him thrive. Whereas when he was at his other school, freshman and sophomore year, he went to school, came home, didn't get involved in very many activities, didn't want to go to sporting events. And at Delta Charter, he started wanting to get involved in all the things. And it was exciting to see him come out of his shell.
So when I enrolled my oldest into Delta Charter High School, like I said, it was during the pandemic. And his school wasn't opening up. And he's a very active guy. He was very into his weight training and conditioning classes and sports. And so when they didn't open, that was really hard for him, just having been home for over a year and a half. So we were able to bring him here, and the district, helped with that. They allowed him to be on campus an hour before school started because they knew how important that social interaction and that activity was going to be for him. So they were really flexible with us that way.
So the quality of her education that she's receiving at this school is phenomenal. Again, she is somebody who does have a disability, and the ability that they have to still give her the same curriculum as everybody else, but to modify that to her specific needs is something I couldn't have asked for something better. She is learning what she needs to learn. Like I've stated before, she's a junior. So she is going to graduate with a diploma and not a certificate. And that is very, very important to me because my child will be attending college. And in order for her to be able to do so with her specific disability is important. It's important for her to be able to meet those marks. So the teacher's ability to incorporate everything that she needs while still maintaining those things that she needs to reach in order to graduate is amazing.
I was very happy with all the teachers. They were very encouraging to my children, and I felt that they really took their special individual needs to account, and they were allowed to work as hard as they wanted. Like I remember Kai coming home just excited because the history teacher was sharing primary sources with them. And Nico was able to go through high school very, very quickly. He graduated as a salutatorian. I had to brag a little bit.
Teaching a child is teaching a whole child, and an autistic child requires a whole education. So what that means is understanding when a child can learn and when a child can't. And every aspect of this school has done wonders, whether it was a rigorous, more organized, science-based class, which Nicholas thrived in, or whether it's a more creative-based class, which Nicholas also thrived in. So it was very interesting how each class had its own culture and community, and that is what Nicholas really loved the most, is that he could be Nicholas and still be in these different environments. He could discover himself with help, and that's why I love this school.
The curriculum, I definitely think it suits their age group. We've been at other schools and it just seems it's either way over the head or beneath, I don't want to say beneath, but it's a lower standard. So I definitely think this meets them where they are, and the teachers really are, they believe in their curriculum. So when they teach it, you can tell that this comes from their heart as well. It's not just coming from a book.
I'm very happy with the quality of teaching. My daughter is a sophomore this year. My son graduated from Delta Charter High School class of 2020. Both of my kids have had great experiences at this school, and I wouldn't choose a different school for them. This has been a good match for both my kids.
I can't stress enough how happy I am with our teaching staff over at Delta Home. My son's TK teacher is so experienced, she is so loving, and just really great. We've seen so much growth with him already. And then in the K2 team, it's just 4 phenomenal teachers, and I've had so much more opportunity to talk with them about different strategies to use with my student. So it's like they have a whole team. You also get the choice of curriculum at Delta Home, so I really like that I get to have an overview of all the different pieces of curriculum, and I get to be part of that choice too.
I found it to be very accessible for my son. He was able to work at his own pace on the Edgenuity classes, and during the times when he didn't have migraines and during the hours that he felt well. So he was able to get ahead in certain classes, and when he did fall a little bit behind, he was able to work on the weekends, he was able to work in the evenings, so that was a great feature for us. And then there were certain classes like art and speech and debate that he came in person for, and he was able to work with like-minded students and work with teachers that were passionate about their subject matter, and he had a great experience and was challenged.
I feel it's been great for all 3 of my children with all 3 of their different needs. For David being on campus, for my daughter, they gave her the opportunity to be both on campus and at home so that she was able to, get through her different struggles there. And for my youngest at Delta Home, it's just been amazing. He tests 2 grade levels over in the state testing, so it really meets his needs there.
So what I would say to parents considering enrolling their children in New Jerusalem School District is do it. Do not be scared of if, what's, buts, what might happen. The school offers transportation, which I love. I live in Patterson, California, and the options are very limited, but for the simple fact that they are able to transport my child, to and from is something that I really appreciate. The support again is phenomenal. The people in the office are very supportive. And honestly, the quality of education, the curriculum, it's really up to par. It really is. So like I said, if you are thinking about it, just come tour the school. Really see what it's about. And the fact that it's a small school makes it so much better. It makes it so much better. The principal, the staff will know who your child is by name. And if you become involved, they will know you by name. And that is amazing.
If you want your child not to be just a number in a classroom, I would choose Delta Charter in a minute. The teachers here really know the students, they care about the students, and your child will not get lost.
I would say this is the perfect place for a child to really grow up. You are exposed to compassionate and professional people who lead the way in how a child can learn to make better decisions, coping strategies. The school is so in tune to how children are behaving, interacting. Mr. Hillstead is always around. There's always adults around checking in on the children and making sure they're safe, making sure they're okay. And that's what makes the school work, because there's no bullying, there's real attention to making sure our children are safe, and that makes me feel safe, knowing when I drop Nick off that he's going to be all right.
I would say do it. I would say if you have any concerns with the schools that they're at or just the help that they're receiving, if there is a specific need that they have, definitely come check us out. I promise you it'll be worth the while to come see what Delta has to offer.
I would absolutely encourage other parents to enroll their students in this school. Because of the school size, the students really get to know the teachers, and the teachers get to know the students. There's a lot of one-on-one. They recognize the students when they see them passing in the hall or on the school grounds. And I think that makes a difference, knowing all the students, and it's not just another face that, you know, yeah, you see them, but you don't know their name.
I would tell parents that it's a great place to be, and no matter which site you choose, there's great elements. I've had nephews over at New Jay, we've been over at Delta K-8, having been a high school student myself. We've just had so much great experience in this district, and no matter which site you choose, like I said, they're gonna know who your child is, they're gonna wanna know about their interests and how they can really help your child propel towards their goals, not just the academic goals that we have.
I would tell parents, if you're looking for flexibility and teachers that care about students and students that are kind and willing to get to know your student, this is the place for you.
Do it. Put your baby first. The typical program isn't made for every student. I find that having had my kids here, this place is home. They know, every teacher knows their names, they're welcomed, the children are accepting. It's a great opportunity for your kids.